Okay, today we're going to put together the Vicehead Resinworks RD190 Fuel and Propane truck. And this particular kit does have some junk on it here, so either way, I am using it as a demo. So this kit is 54 to 72 was when these were made in the RD190, so very long run for these vehicles. To start out with our parts, we have our rear wheels, a bumper, a chassis, rear wheels, and another chassis. We also have another bumper, and this particular one looks like it has an extra bumper thrown in. I will commonly throw in extra parts whenever I can, because I need to fit a certain size, and if I can print a couple extra bumpers or a couple extra grills or whatever, that'll help you out. I'll toss a couple in there. So we have our propane body, fuel oil body, like I said, bumper. These are all mirrors here, which you should only need 4, but there's 8 because I know I lose a bunch of those. I'm horrible with those. We have 2 headlights, a grill, 2 running boards. Should be another running board here. That one has fallen off in my handling of it. So 2 running boards, a grill, and 2 headlights in here. So those are your parts you have, and we'll just give you a quick show on the front. So your headlights slide into those 2 holes, and underneath all these supports on this one, there's a big rectangle. That's where your grill is going to actually go. So when you're doing your painting, keep that in mind. It'll make your assembly a little easier if you go lighter on the paint in those areas. So we're going to go ahead and get this removed from the supports and paint it up and show you how it goes together. So we have our painted parts for our RD190 International Fuel Propane Truck. 54 to 72 is the years these vehicles were produced. So as far as taking them off the supports, I just go ahead and give kind of a light little cut around the edges. They usually come off pretty good after you break some of the supports loose. Just peel that right off. Eventually, these ones are sticky today. There we go. Alright, where are we at? There's a little support still stuck in there. Get your nippers, your tweezers, pluck them out. I have a tendency to stick a finger in there and warp the body. Somehow became a habit of mine. So building these 2 kits is going to be basically the same. We're going to just build the white one for you. The only difference is the shape of the body, really. So, my Kenworth trucks, I went ahead and did both builds for you there. So if you want to see the specific details, you could go over that one, but for now, I think we only need to cover this once. Just popping the wheels off, and we have our chassis here. They are a little fragile, so be careful. I like to cut around the wheel areas. Get those supports off, and you could always throw another coat of paint on this after you get the supports off and get the back painted up well. Typically with our models there's a few larger supports, and they will be, you know what, I lost my nippers. The larger supports will typically be towards the edge of the model. You can see there's one up right under there, and now I popped it off. Perfect. There's one under the fuel tanks here and one up front that I broke loose. So there's our other parts. We're going to set those aside for now. And we're going to set that aside. And like I said, we're just going to build the white one for today. And the gray one, the propane tanker, is almost exactly the same thing. It's just a slightly different look to the body. So after we get a couple of these broke loose, on these bodies, I'd highly recommend paying close attention to these supports at the bottom of the fenders. The fenders are fairly thin at that point, kind of give you that realistic look. And I just broke a running board off, but that's alright, it needed to come off anyway. So yeah, give it a little bit extra attention right there at the bottom of the fenders, just to make sure that you're not going to wind up breaking a fender or something when taking it apart. And I know, don't cut towards yourself. I'm sure that'll be there in the comments. So there's our cab, de-supported and ready to go. So we have tiny little grill and tiny little lights. So the lights, this is going to be a fun one. I always hate doing this, but they break off and go in the headlight holes. Sometimes these going really well. Other times I have tons of problems with them. But usually, there we go. Put them in, a little pressure, pops right in. And we're going to do the next one here. Once in a while, the supports wind up a little more towards the outside edge, and a hair of sanding helps to get these in. See if I can get this one on camera for you. There you go. And excess paint can be a problem with that one for sure. So just so you're aware, don't paint them super heavy, especially on the bottom. Leave the bottom how it is. And those actually hold in on their own. They don't really need glue. We got a grill here. This one I'll probably wind up breaking because it's fairly thin, and I typically do it with my snips, which I'm not sure where they're at. Yep, there we go. So I just broke the grill. But not everything has to be perfect, you know. Let's see if we can get this one off, because this is technically for the other model. Hey, there we go. So yeah, like I said, normally do those with snips, but there's a grill. This one's going to be another one of those finicky little challenges. So I'll take my glue and I'll put a tiny dab, which even as I try, that was still way overdoing it, in each side. And then you take your grill piece and just put her in place. There are 2 bars on the grill. They can be quick enough here. 2 bars on the back of the grill. They will sit into the hole in the body for the grill. So that makes painting that part a lot easier, especially with how tiny it is. You could also go ahead and paint that part silver if you wanted to. Actually, there you go. There's a good example. So that one I masked off and painted up real nice. We'll build that one and show you what it looks like, but just build it off camera. So now we have a truck chassis and a body here. They go together roughly like that. So what I'll typically do is I'll glue the wheels on and the chassis on to the rear body shell. The wheels are easy. So glue there. And just drop them on. That's simple. If you want to detail your undersides, go for it. I've realized in end scale, 90% of the time, painting the underside black is kind of a waste of paint. So I don't bother with it myself. Alright, and then the chassis. On the back end, there's a block, as you can see. We're going to take that block, and we're going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of that block, and then stick it to the chassis. There's a little bit of height adjustment there, as you can see, if you want to kind of set it a little higher or lower. So wherever you want works. And then the final thing is a drop of glue right there. Oh, a little further out maybe. To put the cab on the chassis, and I am probably right about to mess this up, ain't I? Yep, I am. I forgot, these ones, glue has to go right in there. And then we'll get the other one put together quick so you can see what they look like. There is also some running boards here, which we could throw on if we wanted to. Right in about that area, which we'll do that off camera. Alright, and here's our assembled kits, the propane and fuel truck. I forgot to mention there's bumpers to put on that they notch up in on some of them. Some of them they just glue on, nice and simple. This one has the running boards, and I tried my best to actually make them look really, really good, so we painted all the lights and everything on them so they stand out. So there you go, the RD190 fuel and propane trucks kit.